Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Closed mouths, closed mouth. A closed mouth does not get fed. You're not eating unless you open up your effing mouth. All right, again, caught me there. Right? Working on my swearing, doing in my opinion, if I say so myself, a pretty darn good job in controlling some of the swearing that I used to do on this channel. Again, working on that as I've been going to church, getting myself right with the Lord, getting myself back into, making sure I'm taking in the word on a daily basis and, really living my life in a way that honors God. All right. In fact, tomorrow, actually, I'll have a video coming out where it's all about being governed by God. All right. So as far as today, though, today's Move Swiftly thought, we got to address the idea and the concept of closed mouths not being fed. Seeing that, recording this on a Wednesday. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. For those of you who do not know, I actually teach. I teach at a school named the Center for Creative Education. And this past Monday, like we've done on a yearly basis at this point, is we all had a meeting, whether it's teaching artists, regular teachers, and the support staff, the marketing staff, everyone, because it's a brand new private school, there's a lot of moving parts to this particular school named the Center for Creative Education, right? So seeing that it's a lot of moving parts, there's obviously things that need to be done and redone or aren't done the correct way. There's a lot of just holes in terms of the model, in terms of how people are working together, all that kind of stuff. In fact, it's one of the things that has kept me personally in business for so long and made it so I create so much content is because I look at myself as somebody that's working with this startup school and learning the lessons as I go when it comes to just how to build the grassroots organization and all that, right? So anyway, long story short, there's a lot of complaining. We'll say it like that. There's a lot of complaining amongst staff members, amongst inner circles and things like that when it comes to just throughout the day-to-day, because the school doesn't have it all figured out yet. Again, they don't have it all figured out. In fact, I was just listening to, shout out to Jim Jacobs if you're listening, man, because I was just listening to his, there was a podcast that he was on and he's scheduled actually to be on the show later. And he quoted, I can't remember the philosopher's name, but he quoted a philosopher and he said, you don't always have to make the right decision, but you have to make the decision right. And I was listening to that before today's run, and that one actually stuck out to me. And that's really can apply to everything we're going to be discussing today because of the startup nature of the school, the grassroots nature of the school. Every decision that is made is not the right decision, but the attempt and the mindset needs to be, how do we make the decisions right? And that's where we got to focus. And when the founder, so the CEO of the school is a guy named Bob, he opened it up. He, basically gave his rundown of where they're at, where everything is at, financials, and, what the plans are, what the overall vision of the school is and all that kind of stuff. And then he opened it up for complaints or suggestions, strategies, anything that they can do as a staff or anything that he can do as the owner, as a person, as a board, something that we can bring up. And then he brought in his right-hand man. Shout out to Jay if you're listening. He brought in his right-hand man to kind of just jot down notes and things that we need to be improving among as we approach the new year and all that type of stuff, right? So anyway, what struck me is it was myself and a couple other, maybe 2 or 3 other colleagues that spoke up during this time. And I know for a fact, and the reason that inspired this video is the fact that I know for a fact there were several people who were sitting down in that meeting who have a lot of complaints, have a lot of things that they want to say, have a ton of things that they complain about on a daily basis. And you had the owner, the founder of the school, the boss, quote unquote, you had him open it up for questions and they had, or open it up for suggestions, and they had absolutely nothing to say. Actually, no substance, got quiet. And I'm bringing that to you guys, not as just, I'm not limiting this lesson to CCE, but this is a lesson. I've had a ton of jobs. I've worked with a ton of different people, had a ton of different quote unquote bosses, or people who like to call themselves bosses and owners and all leaders and all these sort of people that put out that are attached to these titles that they give themselves. And this is a problem that is rampant, that is rampant across all industries, all right? There's a lot of people who have a whole lot to say, a whole lot of complaining to do. And when someone gives you the opportunity to express and articulate your concerns and your complaints or whatever it is you need to articulate, when that opportunity presents itself, folks get quiet. Folks get mute. Folks don't know what to say. And that right there is the problem. Right there. Again, if any regular consumer to my work, this is the issue that we're discussing and we're dismissing right now. We're decreeing and declaring it right now that we have had enough. If there's an opportunity to present something in which you are not a fan of or which you're upset about or something, you do not have the luxury. Being a member of my world, being a person who's in my world now, if you're new here or if you're a regular consumer here, you no longer have the luxury of staying quiet. Closed mouth, keeping that mouth closed when you have an issue or when you have something in your heart that you want to share. If you keep your mouth closed, then you deserve all of the problems that come with whatever it is you're upset about. You deserve all the issues and you deserve to stay in whatever negative or horrible situation that you're in. However, if you open up your mouth, you give your concerns some thought, you make sure you communicate it in a professional and a respectable way, and then you are able to, again, get the things you're not going to get everything you want, but you're at least able to take a step in the right direction. Then you have some sort of autonomy or some sort of ability to complain when things aren't being done because you articulated what it is you needed to articulate to the right people. But if you're on the other end where you're going to complain all day about this and that, about this and about that, and you don't have the decency to you don't have the ability to actually open up your mouth and express these concerns when the time is needed, no longer have the ability to complain, no longer belong in my world, no longer belong in having any sort of interaction with me. These are the people that I work very, very hard to keep out of my world, that I work increasingly, that I continuously work very intentionally to keep out of my world. That's what we call rejection marketing. And you need to be finding the folks who are not going to be a good fit in your world. Find those, identify their behaviors, identify the BS that they be on when it comes to just, again, not speaking up during certain times, and remove them from your world immediately, because those are going to be the people that are going to be like anchors on your ankles. I mean, anchors, and you're not able to climb up to the places where you want to climb up because you're around folk who don't have the testosterone, right? Don't have the energy, don't have it, and don't have the guts to go out and speak up on their own and address whatever concerns they may be addressing. All right, so all that being said, tap in with me on the Patreon link. The membership is now available, whether it's preseason, regular season, or postseason. It's all there for you. Patreon.com/as144. Main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work. It's makeyamove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.